Hello everyone, it's Origami. Welcome to What If Naruto Was Adopted by Genma Shiranui Part 2. This is the second part of this series. Please make sure to like and subscribe. Here is the summary. Naruto was adopted by Genma Shiranui and a few people who were close to his dead parents, and they plan on turning Naruto into a proper shinobi. Let's get started. Chapter 4: Shinobi Startup. Uzumaki Compound. Morning arrived in the Uzumaki compound, and today was finally the day that teams were going to be announced for the graduating class. A smiling Naruto stretched for a moment before turning his head to the person currently sharing his bed. "Wake up, Yakumo, it's time for us to go to our teams," Naruto whispered before kissing the Kurama heiress on the head. "Do I have to, Naruto? I want to spend some more time with you in bed," Yakumo pouted as she groggily left the covers, revealing she was in a pair of long-sleeved pajamas that were a mix of red and pink, much like her typical outfit. A few weeks ago, Hinata decided to surprise Naruto by cleaning his room while he was spending some time with Tenten's team, and she found his Makeout Paradise book, which she promptly took. Naruto didn't discover as much until a few days later when she confronted him with Yakumo and Tenten by her side. All three girls apparently read the book and its explicit contents and wanted to know if Naruto had desires like those of the men in the books. Naruto admitted he did, but he was okay with sticking to it since they were still kids. Tenten quickly reminded the group that once they became genin, they were adults in the eyes of most kids, and the girls gave each other a quick look before coming to a decision. Ultimately, the girls decided that when all of them graduated from the academy officially, they could do some of the things in the book, and since Tenten had feelings for Naruto the longest, she could go first, with Hinata and Yakumo taking their turns next. They weren't going to have sex yet due to the fact that Hinata and Yakumo were heiresses, but everything else was on the table. In the few days since that began, Naruto had quickly become familiar with the female body and the many enjoyable things he could do with it. "I know how you feel, Yakumo, but we're shinobi first, and getting our teams is the priority for now." "Fine, but can I at least take care of that morning wood of yours first? I'm sure it must be painful." Yakumo smiled before pointing towards his crotch and the outline of his morning wood. "Fine," Naruto gave in, knowing that he would need to deal with it anyway. "Good boy," a smiling Yakumo said happily as she reached for his jumpsuit bottoms and pulled them away, revealing his shaft before quickly surrounding it with her lips just as she had the night before. "Damn, you're good at this," Naruto grunted as he enjoyed the moment. He had to give the Kurama heiress credit for her skilled tongue, something he discovered the night before. Yakumo pulled away for a second as her lips popped slightly as she left his shaft. "Let's just say that we've been waiting for the chance to do this stuff to you for a long time, Naruto," Yakumo replied before resuming her work. Naruto couldn't help but get harder as he was reminded of Hinata and Tenten each showing off impressive oral skills during their time together, among other things. "Alright," Naruto smiled happily before putting his hands on her head, giving her a small push so he could properly enjoy it. "I've gotta give it my all," Yakumo thought to herself as she enjoyed the moment with Naruto. Tenten had the advantage of being his childhood friend, and Hinata had other assets that made it easier for her, so Yakumo had to rely on something unconventional to get Naruto to focus on her. As she played with Naruto's shaft, she couldn't help but remind herself that tomorrow would be Tenten's turn again, and she would have to wait 3 days at least for more Naruto time. For now, she would enjoy the moment. Barely a minute later and she got her reward. "Yakumo, I'm going to come," Naruto cried out happily. Yakumo simply increased her pace, knowing that her time was running out, and within moments she felt the familiar pulse of Naruto's release and the rush of semen that accompanied it. As she pulled away, she made sure Naruto watched her swallow his semen before giving him a big smile. "Let's get going. We're about to become shinobi," Yakumo said happily. "You shower first, and I'm pretty sure Yugo left some clothes for you," Naruto replied before pecking her on the cheek. "Okay, but you really should join me," Yakumo teased as she got up from the bed and walked towards the door, swaying her hips to tease Naruto as she opened the door. "Damn that girl," Naruto groaned as he relaxed in his bed for a bit longer, trying to will himself down before he actually joined her, knowing exactly what would happen if he did. Scene skip. Naruto and Yakumo arrived at the academy to find Hinata waiting for them with a visible frown, which Naruto understood since they were running late. "I hope you were respectful of the arrangement, Yakumo." Hinata scowled, figuring that Yakumo took her time to enjoy Naruto in the morning also. "I was, Hinata, don't worry." Yakumo smirked as she walked to join her friend. Yakumo and Hinata were in their usual outfits while Naruto had his black jacket on top with his blade on his back. And, as somebody pointed out in a guest review, I had the katana as 70 inches when I meant to say 70 centimeters, my bad guys. For Naruto, it was a return to the old days since he wore the black jacket during his first year but switched to the casual tracksuit later on. He even wore the tracksuit for the graduation exam and his takedown of Mizuki. Moving forward, he would probably use the tracksuit only when he was done with duty and relaxed at home, at least until he went to bed. Let's go, girls. It's time to become shinobi. Naruto said happily. Right, Yakumo and Hinata replied, and the trio walked into the classroom to find they were the last to arrive. Looks like the real Naruto is back, it's about time. Shikamaru said happily, noticing the black jacket he was wearing. What are you talking about, Shika? It just looks like he got rid of that tracksuit, Ino scoffed. Naruto sighed since Ino was as clueless as ever, but just as he was about to respond, an interesting source answered for him. Naruto's been faking his skill for years, Ino. Sasuke said with a grin on his face. Ino was stunned that Sasuke spoke up in his defense. What skill? He's the dead last and I don't know why he's got that sword, but I doubt he knows how to use it. Naruto twitched visibly, but once again his classmates came to his defense. Clearly you've forgotten due to your obsession with Sasuke, but in our first year Naruto was the best among our group and that jacket was part of his outfit. I don't know why he changed into that tracksuit, but now the real Naruto is back, Shikamaru retorted. You're kidding. He can't be that good. Ino said in disbelief. I am that good, Ino, and before you get any ideas, don't even think of using your techniques on me to see if I'm lying. It won't end well for you. Naruto warned. Ino's mind transfer would put her in direct connection to the fox, and that could end badly for multiple reasons. Why you? Ino frowned as she reached to move her hands to perform her family's mind transfer jutsu, a technique that would allow Ino to enter Naruto's mind and figure out what was going on. I wouldn't continue if I were you, a voice said from behind her with a kunai attached to her neck. It was Kakashi, and he was completely calm as he did so. What the? Who are you? Ino gasped, and most of the class did the same. My name isn't important, but you really should listen to what your comrade has to say. Kakashi warned, pressing the kunai further for emphasis. Fine, Ino said calmly before relaxing her hands. Good girl, Kakashi smiled before leaving via a shunshin. That was close, Naruto thought to himself. Unfortunately for Naruto, Ino wasn't going to just let it go despite what happened. What the hell was that, Naruto? Do you have some special bodyguard or something? Or something? Naruto smirked. Enough games, Naruto. You're going to tell me who that was right now, Naruto. Ino huffed as she walked towards him. Ino was stubborn, and after what happened she wanted answers. Naruto kept his cool and decided to have some fun. Tell you what, Ino, if you become a part of my team, I'll tell you about that guy, Naruto said calmly. Deal, Ino replied haughtily before going back to her seat. Had she paid more attention, she'd see the smirk on Naruto's face and those of his quartet. You're an asshole, Naruto, Hinata whispered to him. Naruto knew very well Ino wouldn't get her answers, which is why he did it. That level of deviousness was impressive and something she missed seeing in Naruto. Thanks, Naruto chuckled. He was a bit surprised that Kakashi interfered regardless, but he was glad he did. He was fast enough to dodge Ino's jutsu, but if Irika walked in to see Ino knocked out, it would have caused a bunch of headaches. Let's just relax for now. Yakumo suggested, growing tired of the antics already and simply wanting to get set up. Alright, Naruto smiled as the group walked up to their seats and relaxed. Scene skip. It took about 30 minutes for Irika to arrive, and he smiled as he looked at his former students. Congratulations everybody, and all of you earned your headbands. This class is one of the best I've had in a long time, and I know you'll all be great. Irika smiled. Irika-sensei, how the hell did Naruto pass, and where is Kiba? Ino spoke up. Due to Naruto's change in appearance, she didn't focus on that fact, but after calming down she realized Kiba hadn't shown up. That little Naruto, Sasuke, Yakumo, and Hinata all fought together. Kiba got involved in a classified incident which led to him not passing, and Naruto passed on his own merits. Iruka said diplomatically, recognizing Ino's intention. Alright, Ino replied with a frown. Moving on, it's time to learn who your teammates will be. Iruka smiled as he announced the teams. For the most part Naruto and the group didn't care, but soon his focus changed. Now for Team 7, Sasuke Uchiha, Sakura Haruno, and Naruto Uzumaki. Your sensei will be Kakashi Hatake. Damn it. Ino cursed since Sasuke was paired with Sakura. Take that, Ino pig, true love conquers all. Sakura shouted. This is going to be annoying. Naruto and Sasuke thought at once. Anyway, Team 8 will be Hinata Hyuga Yakumo Kurama and Shino Aburame. Your sensei will be Kurenai Yuhi. Iruka said calmly, ignoring the predictable outburst. Alright, Hinata smiled warmly. Shino was a good guy and being with Yakumo and Kurenai helped, but the fact Naruto was with Sakura drove her nuts. Team 9 is still in circulation, so now for Team 10, Ino Yamanaka Shikamaru Nara and Choji Akimichi. Your sensei is Asuma Sarutobi. Damn it! Ino cursed again due to having two of the lazier members of her class. How troublesome, Shikamaru groaned. Ino was a family friend, but her focus on Sasuke drove Shikamaru nuts. Anyway, your senseis will be here soon, so be patient, and once again congratulations. Iruka said calmly before leaving. With Iruka gone, the time to wait for their sensei was over and Yakumo smiled. Hey Naruto, wanna ditch class and get some lunch? Yakumo said in code. Seriously Yakumo? Hinata scowled, well aware of what Yakumo was after. Tempting, but Kurenai and Kakashi are coming soon, so I doubt we'd be able to escape for long, Naruto replied diplomatically. Oh well, Yakumo smiled. Sure enough, Kakashi walked into the room moments later. Hey Team 7, my name is Kakashi Hatake and I'm your new sensei. Kakashi smiled as Ino flipped out upon seeing the man. You! Ino screamed. Yes, me, and before you think of telling your father what happened, I already did. He understood why I did what I did, and he thanked me for protecting his baby girl. Kakashi said happily. What? Ino said incredulously. She couldn't believe that her father approved of somebody attacking her, especially a jonin. Team 7, why don't we meet at the rooftop? Kakashi smiled before getting up to leave, ignoring Ino's outburst. See you later, Yakumo, Naruto smiled before kissing her and Hinata on the lips. Come on Naruto, there's plenty of time for that later. Sasuke deadpanned. Fine, Naruto deadpanned before grabbing Sasuke and using a shunshin to leave, instantly to the disbelief of Sakura and Ino. Once they were on the roof, Sasuke decided to get some answers to the latest incident. So Naruto, care to explain why Ino couldn't use her family's secret techniques on you? No, because there are certain things I'm simply not going to tell you despite our friendship and before you say anything. Hinata and Yakumo don't know either. Naruto said harshly. Sasuke, Yakumo and Hinata may know about him being the fourth Hokage's son, but they don't know about the fox, and Naruto intended to keep it that way for as long as possible. Fine, Sasuke frowned before focusing on another matter. By the way, why were you waiting in the classroom, Kakashi? I wanted to see what the new generation is like. I've only dealt with your little group, so I wanted to see the others. What do you think? Sasuke wondered. Asuma's going to have his hands full with that group, but once they get it together, they'll be dangerous. Kurenai will have some fun, but the lack of a true powerhouse means that they'll have to avoid certain missions as genin. Do you think it would have been better if Naruto joined them? Sasuke admitted. Actually, no. Ironically enough, the best person to complete their group would be you, Sasuke? Kakashi answered. Me? Why is that? Sasuke wondered. Kakashi was about to explain, but Naruto cut them off. We gotta cut this short. Sakura's on the way. Naruto warned, having sensed the young woman coming. Oh well. Kakashi said calmly to Sasuke's annoyance. This isn't over. Sasuke pouted. Oh, relax Sasuke, I know why and I'll explain it you later. Naruto smiled. Sasuke's grunt of approval was all they needed as they waited for their third teammate. Scene skip. Sakura arrived and sat with the group, but before she could ask the various questions she had, Kakashi spoke up. Normally this is the part where I introduce myself and make you guys do the same, but I don't need to do that this time around. Kakashi said bluntly. How come Sensei? Sakura wondered. I've been training Naruto in shinobi arts since he was 6 and I only stopped a few years ago because they wanted me to become a Jonin sensei. Sasuke has been his friend for a long time so I know him well. So, what are we doing here? Sakura wondered, deciding to put the oddities from before behind. Well, I wanted to tell you guys a few things about the world you're about to join before we have some guests. Kakashi said calmly. Okay, Sakura said curiously. You guys have probably thought many things about the shinobi world and about how it's all about fighting big battles and being a hero. I'm here to tell you that it's not. Kakashi said coldly. There are missions like that, but as Genin you'll be lucky to get a C rank, worth anything if you get a C rank at all. So, what will we do? Sakura wondered. Genin like you guys are going to do primarily D rank missions, which are basically glorified chores, and you'll do them until I say you're ready for a C rank. That could be 1 month, or it could be 1 year for all I know. Kakashi said calmly. I see. Sakura frowned. Ah, but they aren't even Genin yet, Kakashi. Don't get ahead of yourself. The voice of Kurenai Yuhi smiled as she walked up to join the group with Team 8 trailing behind. Kurenai Yuhi was a beautiful woman with fair skin, long black hair that went down to her back, and sharp red eyes with red lipstick and purple eyeshadow on her face. She was wearing a red mesh armor blouse with the right sleeve visible and a dress that was wrapped around her body like bandages with a thorn pattern in the middle. She also had the Konoha headband and regular shinobi sandals. Behind her was her team with Hinata and Yakumo walking behind them, along with Shino Aburame, a young man with busy brown hair and sunglasses over his eyes. He wore a sea green jacket with a high, upturned collar. Naruto liked Shino because of his bugs, and he would be a good addition to their team. Yes, I know, Kurenai, but I wanted to make it clear that if they passed my test that this is what they'd expect. Kakashi replied. Fair enough. Kurenai shrugged. Why is Team 8 up here? Sakura wondered. Lord Hokage felt that because of the way our team is constructed it would do us some good to work with another team. Kurenai said diplomatically. I see. Sakura frowned, not liking the fact that 2 of her worst enemies would be around her more often. However, before we can even get to that you need to pass our test. Kurenai smiled. Test? Sakura wondered, focusing back on that. Each Jonin will test their students in their own way. If they pass, then they'll continue on. Kakashi explained. And originally I was hoping to borrow young Naruto to assist in my team's test as a start to the process of us working together. Kurenai smiled. Me? Naruto said with a bit of surprise. Yes. Rumor has it you've been concealing your real skills and that makes you perfect for the game we're about to play. Kurenai smiled. What game is that? Naruto wondered nervously. It's a variation of hide and seek. I wanted a tracking team originally, so I was disappointed to learn that young Kiba had failed, but this team is better suited for an ambush role. I was going to ask you to play the role of our seeker, Kurenai said calmly. Very clever, because you get both at the same time. As the seeker I won't know where your students are, and I'm guessing that you want them to ambush me as part of the role, Naruto. Correct. At least it shows you're more intelligent than your scores suggest. Kurenai smirked, taking a small dig at Naruto, who shrugged it off. And when Kurenai asked me, I agreed and decided that we should combine our tests into one massive game. Kakashi smiled. Ha! Sakura exclaimed, not expecting that. Instead of simply Naruto seeking out Team 8. Each member of Team 7 will be assigned one person to find from Team 8. The goal of Team 7 will be to look for their respective member, but Team 8 will be able to fight back and they win if they're able to defeat their respective opponent without being seen, Kakashi explained. You guys don't play, Naruto whistled. Team 8 had a huge advantage because they could incapacitate somebody who wasn't their opponent without fail. So Kakashi, who do you think should be each person's opponent? Kurenai wondered. Naruto and Hinata. Yakumo and Sasuke. Sakura and Shino. Kakashi said quickly. That was fast. Kurenai admitted. She didn't disagree, but she was admittedly curious why he chose those pairings. Yakumo is a master of illusions, so pairing her with a future Sharingan wielder is the way to go. As for the other combinations, Hinata's Byakugan would make it impossible for Sakura to find her, so by default she's with Naruto and Sakura with Shino. What's that supposed to mean? Sakura huffed. Hinata decided to answer, my Byakugan lets me see chakra pathways, and since I can see you coming from a mile away you can't find me. Naruto doesn't have to worry about that, and that makes it more interesting, Hinata explained. Alright, but I don't like it. Sakura pouted. I wouldn't expect you to. Kurenai smiled. So, Team 7 and 8 meet us at the 3rd training ground tomorrow morning. Kakashi smiled. Right. The group announced and everyone went their separate ways for now. Scene skip. Later that night, Yakumo, Hinata, Sasuke and Naruto were gathered in the living room of his compound in order to talk about the upcoming test. I can't believe we're playing hide and seek against each other. Hinata smiled happily. I'm more surprised that our teachers are allowing us to do this. Yakumo admitted. They have no choice really. Everyone who knows our group realizes that you three should have been a team and probably would have if Naruto wasn't so committed to helping me. Sasuke frowned just for Naruto to bonk him on the head. I made that choice, Sasuke, and we both know why. Regardless, I'll get to spend plenty of time with the girls if this cooperation plan works out, Naruto reminded him. But nothing. I made my decision and I've stuck to it. I never imagined I'd become this close to Hinata and Yakumo either, but we've stuck together as a group. As for tomorrow, hold nothing back, either of you. Naruto said coldly. Are you sure, Naruto? Thanks to you my illusions are powerful. Yakumo said with a glint in her eyes. Compared to Itachi, they're nothing, Yakumo. Naruto thought to himself, reminding himself of the few spars he had with Sasuke's brother before he went rogue. We want to become stronger, and that means using everything we know. Don't forget that I've been holding back also, and I know plenty of techniques that will make this really tough for all of you. I just hope Sakura and Shino are ready. Naruto smiled, causing the two girls to look at him nervously. Just how much have you been holding back? Yakumo wondered. Naruto helped her with genjutsu, but outside of that she didn't know much about his skills. Sasuke and Tenten might know some stuff due to sparring with him, but she was clueless. You'll see, Naruto smiled. The only people who knew about his kenjutsu skills were Tenten and Yugo, and he never used his various jutsu during his spars with Sasuke. The girls had no idea what a monster Naruto really was, and they'd find out tomorrow. Scene skip. The next day the quartet waited for their final teammates and sensei to arrive. Naruto was dressed in his black jacket and stood next to Sasuke while Hinata and Yakumo stood together a few feet away to give the boys their space. Hey Naruto, mind if I ask you something? Sasuke said calmly. What's that? Naruto wondered. The other day Kakashi said that I'd be the perfect addition to team with Yakumo and Hinata instead of you. Why did you say that? Sasuke wondered. Because you'd be able to perfectly balance out Hinata and Yakumo and deal with their weaknesses better than I can once you had your Sharingan. Explain. Hinata needs to get close to do her damage, but somebody who's long range will give her major problems. With your Sharingan you can help track those people and provide covering attacks to allow Hinata to get in close range. Yakumo has her illusions, but if those fail, she's not much better off than Sakura. She needs a powerhouse to wear down the opponents so she can use those techniques. Once you got your Sharingan you could master plenty of jutsu. I see, Sasuke said calmly, agreeing with Naruto's analysis. Putting that aside, having Kurenai to help us will go a long way towards helping Sakura as well. From what Yakumo told me, Kurenai hates fangirls like Sakura, and believe me, she'll be ruthless when she realizes how bad Sakura really is. Naruto smiled. I hope you boys aren't saying anything bad about us. Yakumo shouted. We're talking strategy since we're about to be opponents once Sakura and Shino get here. Naruto replied. Alright, Yakumo smiled. A few moments later and Sakura and Shino arrived. Looks like we're last to arrive, Sakura frowned as Shino looked as nonchalant as ever. Kakashi and Kurenai appeared via Shunshin a moment later and each was completely calm. Alright everyone, it's time to get started with your tests, so go over to your teams, Kakashi said with a smile. Alright, Sakura replied before going to Naruto and Sasuke's side with Shino doing the same for his group. Now that you guys are here, it's time to begin the test. As you know, it's a game of hide and seek with Naruto seeking out Hinata, Sasuke seeking out Yakumo, and Sakura seeking out Shino. In order for Team 7 to win, they need to simply find their opponent. For Team 8 to win, they need to incapacitate their opponent without being spotted. You'll learn this soon enough, but not all battle in the shinobi world is straightforward. Learning how to find a hidden opponent and being able to successfully hide from your opponents are important skills. Kakashi smiled. Right, the group acknowledged. Alright Team 8, start hiding. You'll have a 10-minute head start to make this interesting, Kurenai announced. Right, Team 8 replied before quickly moving into the forest. As Kakashi and Kurenai looked on from a distance. With Team 8 gone, Team 7 sat in wait, so what now? Sakura wondered since they had 10 minutes to plan. Normally she'd ask Sasuke, but considering what's been said about Naruto, she was curious what he thought. Now we prepare some stuff of our own, Naruto replied with a large grin on his face. What did you have in mind, Naruto? Sasuke wondered. Seeing that grin meant that Naruto had a plan. A secret weapon, Naruto said with a smile as he began making hand signs slowly before walking over to a curious Sakura. That's, Kurenai said in shock as she recognized what Naruto was doing instantly. So that's his plan. Naruto, you really are smart. Kakashi smiled. When did he learn Yakumo's genjutsu blocker? Kurenai said in shock. Yakumo tested her genjutsu blocker on Naruto. In fact, Naruto's helped Yakumo test most of her best techniques, Kakashi explained, and Kurenai could only look on worried for the newest development. Naruto finished his technique before placing his finger on Sakura's neck, pressing briefly, "There, that should help." Naruto smiled as the blocker took effect. "What did you do to me?" Sakura shuddered, feeling an odd sensation from activating the jutsu. "It's a genjutsu blocker." They may not have said as much, but this is a team exercise as much as it is an individual one. Shino is as tricky a fighter as we have in our group, but that won't matter if you get caught in one of Yakumo's genjutsu. Trust me when I say that this blocker might be the difference between us passing or failing. I see, Sakura said in shock as Naruto applied the blocker to himself and then Sasuke. Now what? Sasuke wondered, knowing Naruto had another plan. Team 7, you can go now, Kakashi said calmly, interrupting the group. Now we make this a bit more fun. Naruto smiled before using the familiar cross-shaped hand sign, Shadow Clone Jutsu. Naruto smiled before sending a group of 5 clones into the forest. Are those real? Sakura said in shock. Yep, and they're useful as hell. Naruto smiled before going to the clones. Alright guys, search and destroy, Naruto ordered. Right, the clones smiled before running into the forest. Should we follow them? Sakura wondered. No. Give it a bit and they'll find our opponents, and once they do, they'll dispel. I'll know and then tell you guys where to go. Naruto smiled. Nice. Sasuke smiled as Sakura stood in disbelief. Between the genjutsu blocker and the clones, the test was practically over already. This was unreal. The group stood in wait for around flinched minutes until Naruto flinched from his clones dispelling. Found them. Naruto smiled. Where are they? Sakura insisted. Shino is to the west, halfway into the forest. Yakumo is to the east and not far in. As for Hinata, she's in the middle of the forest. Naruto smiled. Then shall we? Sasuke smiled as he prepared himself. Let's go. You may have found his location, but I still need to actually locate my partner. Sakura smiled. Go ahead, Naruto smiled as Team 7 made their move, running into the forest. Did you know he could do that? Kurenai said angrily. I knew about the clones but not the blocker. On one hand, the hard part is over, but in the end it's up to the others to show what they can do. Kakashi smiled. Whatever, Kurenai huffed. The first part of the test was ruined, but in a backwards way the real test was about to begin. Sakura and Shino. As she arrived in the forest, Sakura frowned because she knew this was going to be tough. This sucks. Sakura frowned. She was so focused on Sasuke that she never paid much attention to her classmates. Now she had to hunt down Shino while knowing absolutely nothing about him. She continued her hunt for the Aburame but found nothing, but unfortunately for her, Shino was already in position to end things. I was hoping for a little bit more considering you were the smartest in the class. However, I'm not impressed. Shino spoke from the hidden brush. Where are you? Sakura shouted, trying to find him. Why would I tell you that, Sakura? This is hide and seek. Shino taunted yet again. Damn you, Shino, get out here. Sakura shouted again. If you want me, that's fine, but perhaps I'll introduce you to a friend of mine first. Shino shouted. If you mean one of Yakumo's genjutsu, they won't work. Naruto used a genjutsu blocker on me and that'll make sure I'm safe. Sakura said smugly. That's fine. I don't need genjutsu to defeat you. The friends I'm talking about are a bit different. Shino taunted again. What are you? Sakura started to say until she found herself surrounded by black bugs. What the hell are those? These are Kakechu, they are the bugs that form the basis for my family's techniques. They just wanted to say hi. Shino smiled as the bugs swarmed Sakura. No! Sakura screamed as the bugs surrounded her before she could make a single hand sign. Her defeat was swift and brutal. Sasuke Yakumo? Sasuke smiled happily as he walked into the forest ready for what he was certain was Yakumo's illusions. Sorry Yakumo, but you won't be able to hide for long. Sasuke smiled. He felt a small tingle, and that was proof that Yakumo's genjutsu was blocked. As Sasuke kept moving, Yakumo was shocked to find that the genjutsu Sasuke walked into didn't work. That's impossible. How did you stop my genjutsu? Yakumo said angrily from a distance. Your boyfriend showed us your genjutsu blocker. So, I'm protected from your techniques. Sasuke smiled. He what? Yakumo screamed angrily, but she didn't realize that exposed her location. Sasuke smiled because he found her. That's right, and it's time for the hunter to become the hunted. Sasuke flashed some hand signs. Fire style, Phoenix Flower Jutsu. Sasuke smirked before firing a set of fireballs towards where her voice came from. He couldn't tell if they hit the mark, but he knew Yakumo was finished regardless. She wasn't nearly skilled enough to hide from him. Damn him. Why did he have to do that? Yakumo frowned as she walked out, realizing the hopelessness of her situation. Isn't it obvious? This exercise wasn't meant to test stealth at all. Sasuke chuckled. Ha! The goal was to expose all of our weaknesses. Our? Yakumo said in confusion. That's right. In your case, genjutsu were mostly support moves, and when they fail you have virtually no offense without them. Hinata has offense, but doing so without being in front of somebody is difficult if not impossible. Sakura is just weak and she's going to suffer greatly for it. Naruto is a monster, but seeing how he does against somebody who can disable his chakra the way Hinata does is a good test. They paired us because they want me to get used to all types of fighters, and as for Shino, I think he just got the short end of the stick because Sakura is our teammate. Sasuke explained. Yakumo could appreciate the explanation, but something occurred to her. Hold on. Naruto already found Hinata the same way he found us. What's the point of him going to her? Probably for them to have a proper spar. Don't forget that he's never fought against Hinata. Sasuke smiled. Or they just wanted an excuse to make out in private. Yakumo frowned. Who knows? Sasuke smiled. Naruto and Hinata. Naruto made his way in the middle of the forest into a large clearing where Hinata was waiting for him. You're really unfair, Naruto. Using a genjutsu blocker and shadow clones to find us. It would have been so much easier for us otherwise. Hinata pouted. Naruto chuckled at Hinata's pout, but it was the right way to go. It's my job as a shinobi to support my team. Yakumo might be pissed at me later, but oh well. Since we have some time, how about a spar to test each other's skills? Naruto smiled. Are you going to use your blade or no? Hinata wondered curiously. Nope. It would be unfair that way. I'll just use a few jutsu and call it a day. Naruto smiled. Hinata frowned since Naruto was being far too nonchalant. You're underestimating me, Naruto, but you'll soon realize that's a mistake. Hinata pouted as she got into her stance. Let's go, Hinata. Naruto smiled before making his familiar cross-shaped hand sign. Shadow Clone Jutsu. As 5 Naruto clones appeared, Hinata knew this was about to get good. The Yakugan, Hinata shouted as her family's dojutsu appeared. Get her, guys. Naruto smiled as his clones charged. You should know very well that your clones won't work on me. Hinata smiled as she used her Byakugan and some quick movements to take care of the clones as the real Naruto looked on. Yeah, but I wanted to see a bit of your fighting style. Now it's time for the real battle. Naruto smiled before reaching up his right hand with 2 fingers in the air with a half ram sign connected to his arm. Hidden mist jutsu, Naruto shouted. Hinata looked on in shock as mist clouded the forest, blinding her. What in the world? When did you learn a technique from the hidden mist? You might be able to see everything, Hinata, but not anymore. You're finished. Naruto smiled before shouting out. Shadow Clone Jutsu. More Narutos popped into existence, but thanks to the mist, Hinata was trapped. I get what you're planning, Naruto, but that won't work. Thanks to my Byakugan, I can still see the outlines of your chakra network, and since you have to attack me eventually, I'll be fine. Hinata said confidently. You'd think that, wouldn't you, Hinata, but you're wrong. Naruto smiled. Hinata braced herself for whatever Naruto was up to before she was slammed by a wind bullet. Ah, Hinata yelped. You might be able to see my chakra network, but I can attack you from long range now. I have the advantage and I intend to press it. Naruto said from within the mist. Damn it. Hinata cursed since she was truly trapped. Due to the spars, she suspected Naruto was a close-range and kenjutsu fighter, but apparently that wasn't the case. I'm sorry, Hinata, but it's over, Naruto said via the mist. Hinata was helpless as Naruto pelted her with wind bullets, and before long Hinata collapsed from exhaustion. It was a comprehensive defeat for Hinata, and it was proof that Naruto was seriously holding back. You really are a monster, Hinata smiled before falling unconscious. With his victory secured, Naruto blew away the mist around them and walked towards his downed opponent. You have no idea, Hina, you have no idea, Naruto replied with a wry smile. Chapter 5, Tension. Kakashi and Kurenai stood in the middle of the clearing waiting for the teams to return from the tests. Given what already happened, neither was surprised when a frowning Yakumo walked out first with Sasuke next to her with a calm expression on his face. Not long after was Shino carrying and knocked out Sakura with his bugs until it became time to set her against one of the 3 small wooden poles in the middle of the clearing. Looks like those went as expected. Kakashi smiled. A part of him wished he had a photo of Sakura being carried by the bugs, but he wasn't that lucky. Still, he hoped the girl learned a brutal lesson at the hands of the bug user. That's right, but I'm surprised Naruto and Hinata are taking so long, Kurenai commented. Thanks to Naruto's shadow clones, he knew where Hinata was, and that meant the challenge was practically over. They shouldn't have taken this long to return. Don't worry about it. They'll be fine, Kakashi assured Kurenai. Just before Kurenai could respond, Naruto arrived with Hinata on his back. To the shock of everyone, Hinata looked like she was in an intense battle. What happened? Kurenai said nervously. I wanted to see how she fared in a spar against me. I won pretty easily, but in her defense I'm a horrible matchup for her. Naruto replied before lying Hinata on another post next to the still unconscious Sakura. Kakashi was beaming with pride at the efforts of his student, having sent a clone to watch the battles long before the test began. Although Naruto's strategy wouldn't work against a more experienced Hyuga, it was perfect for the novice Hinata, and it would provide a wake-up for her to brush up on clan techniques. Naruto, can you wake up Hinata and Sakura? It's time to tell you guys the results, Kakashi instructed. Fine, Naruto shrugged before waking up the two girls, who sluggishly got up and gathered together with their respective teams to hear the fallout of their test. Before we get to whether or not you passed or failed, I'd like to know if you guys learned anything from this exercise? Kurenai said diplomatically. Naruto ruined the original plan, so she had to improvise, and it actually worked out pretty well. I learned that I'm really weak and that textbooks won't tell me a thing about being a ninja. Sakura said shamefully. She was helpless against Shino, and her status as the weakest of the six was clear to see. Even Yakumo with her weak body would crush her without the genjutsu blocker, and boy wasn't that a bitter idea. I learned that Naruto is really a badass. Sasuke smiled. True, he trained against Naruto for years and was vaguely aware of his partner's strength, but given what he saw from this small display, it was clear Naruto was a terror. I learned that without my genjutsu I'm in trouble and that Naruto was a jerk. Yakumo pouted. She was planning to cast an area of effect genjutsu on the forest, and from there Shino's bugs and Hinata's Byakugan would help them make quick work of the group. Naruto's blocker completely destroyed that plan and she was helpless. Then again, she would probably lose to everyone here besides Sakura if they knew about her genjutsu. I learned that long-range jutsu work really well on me if my opponent can take away my eyesight. Naruto used the hidden mist jutsu on me and I was helpless to stop him. Hinata said shamefully. You know the hidden mist jutsu? Kurenai and Sakura gasped. Yep, but that's not important right now. My lesson was, it is essential to find your opponent's weakness and exploit it if you were capable. Naruto shrugged. Sort of like Sasuke, he didn't learn much since he already knew that Hinata would struggle against him. Kurenai frowned before turning to her final student. I'd ask you what you learned, Shino, but I take it that much like Naruto you didn't learn anything. Kurenai said in a gentle way. She heard much of Sakura Haruno and not a lot of it was good. Seeing how helpless she was against Shino was not pleasing at all. Luckily, she was Kakashi's burden. That's correct, but I'm sure I'll learn plenty moving forward. Shino replied respectfully. Well then, I'm happy to tell my team that they all passed. Kurenai smiled. And I'm saying the same for mine. Kakashi beamed. Huh? How did all of us pass? Sakura wondered since she lost miserably. Kakashi smiled before speaking first. My test was to see how you'd address an ambush as a team. Hinata's Byakugan, Yakumo's genjutsu, and Shino's bugs are perfectly suited to ambush tactics, and understanding how to manage ambushes is a crucial fact of the ninja world. Negating the genjutsu by using the genjutsu blocker disabled the first threat in Naruto's shadow clones to find each person's opponent was an impressive idea. Wouldn't that mean only Naruto passed? Sakura suggested. Yes and no. On one hand, Naruto was brilliant, and he passed with flying colors. As for you and Sasuke, you could have easily ignored him and gone in blind. The fact you were willing to listen to him is an important part of teamwork. After all, I'm well aware of your relationship with Naruto during the academy. Kakashi smiled. I see. Sakura frowned. Kurenai was next since her team deserved an explanation also. My original test was to see how you'd execute the ambush. Would you reveal yourself to somebody that wasn't your target since your goal was to only incapacitate your particular opponent, or would you wait around for your opponent, ignore the others? Sadly, Naruto's shadow clones ruined that. Sorry, Naruto said sheepishly with a hand on his head. It's alright, because I was pleased to see my students being honest about what they learned. One of the most important things for young ninja to realize is that the jump from the academy to Genin is a vast one. Kurenai admitted. As Kurenai said, this is just the beginning of your journey as shinobi. Learning to work together as a team is vital, but perhaps just as vital is understanding your strengths and weaknesses. Not everyone is good at everything, and knowing where your strengths and weaknesses lie tells you a lot about how you fight and affects how you act as a shinobi. What are your weaknesses, sensei? Sakura asked curiously. Kakashi was admittedly surprised by the question, but a part of him was very pleased. My weakness is stamina. Due to the way I fight, I can't be in a long battle or I'm in trouble. The way you fight? Sakura wondered. Yes, Kakashi smiled before moving his eye patch to reveal a Sharingan. Sakura and Shino looked towards Sasuke. but both were surprised to see that he was calm before focusing on Kakashi again. During my ninja career I became known as Copy Ninja Kakashi, and I've used the Sharingan to copy hundreds of jutsu. However, the Sharingan drains a lot of energy from me, so I can't fight for very long. Is it really that draining? Hinata wondered, curious if Sasuke would have the same issue. Normally no, but it is for me due to how I obtained my Sharingan. The point is that everybody has weaknesses, and knowing how to work around them is crucial. Everybody has weaknesses besides Naruto. Yakumo pouted. Not the time, Yakumo. Naruto frowned, aware that she was pretty angry at him. Well, Naruto had a weakness. Kakashi shrugged, since it wasn't his place, and he tried to keep neutrality going. I'm confused. Sakura spoke up. Naruto's weakness used to be genjutsu, but after working with Yakumo on the blocker, that weakness is gone. Hinata smiled. Actually, I still have a weakness, Naruto admitted, causing Yakumo to look at him in disbelief. How? You can fight long range or short range, and you even use kenjutsu. You're stupidly smart, so you can plan as well as anybody outside of Shikamaru, and that's a toss-up. Your stamina is absurd, and you have a healing factor. What could you possibly have as a weakness? Yakumo vented in anger. Sakura's eyes widened at the news. When Shikamaru suggested the real Naruto was back, she wondered what that meant, but it was practically impossible to think he was that skilled. My weakness is ruthlessness, Naruto admitted. How can ruthlessness be a weakness? Yakumo screamed in disbelief. Because as a shinobi your duty is to defeat your opponent by any means necessary. On the battlefield it's kill or be killed, and if you don't have the heart to kill, you're going to have problems as a shinobi. Kakashi spoke up, causing the kids besides Naruto to freeze, something Kurenai noticed and decided to address. Let's stop talking about this depressing subject for right now. The good news is you 6 have all passed. For Team 7, this is your training ground, but mine will meet at Training Ground 10 starting tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. You have the rest of the day off to think about what you've learned and make yourselves better, Kurenai said calmly. Team 7 meet here tomorrow at 9 a.m. also. We'll start training and working on new strategies for all of you, Kakashi continued. Right, the joint team shouted before everyone separated for the day. Scene skip. Naruto returned home with a smile on his face, ready to start his official training tomorrow. When he arrived at the entrance of the compound, he noticed that a surprising guest was waiting for him in the form of Yakumo's uncle Unkai. Well, this is a surprise. What brings you to this side of the village? Naruto teased. He met Unkai and the rest of the Kurama clan when they helped Yakumo with her powers before. The clan owed him a large debt for protecting her, which was one of the reasons they were okay with Yakumo spending as much time with him as she did. Admittedly, he wasn't sure how they'd react to the newest change, but that was a concern for another day. I wanted to discuss something with you, Naruto, Unkai said calmly. Then come on in. Naruto smiled as he used the blood seals on the compound to get in. After the long walk to the main mansion, they quickly moved to the living room to talk. Would you like some tea, Unkai, or are we just going to get down to business? Naruto wondered. Let's talk, since I don't want to take up your time. Unkai nodded before sitting down on the small chair directly across from the couch. All right, Naruto replied, taking his spot on the couch so he could look at Unkai directly. I'd like you to remove the seal on Yakumo's powers, Unkai said bluntly. Naruto raised an eyebrow at that. I don't see why. The seal is designed to slowly fade away so Yakumo can get used to her power. That was the agreement I made with the clan when designing the seal. Naruto frowned. Yes, but now she's about to become a shinobi. I'm worried that with the seal affecting her power she'll have trouble, Unkai admitted. The clan overall agreed with this and let Unkai be the one to discuss it with Naruto, since he got along well with the young man. Naruto sighed because he figured that might happen even after all this time. How about a compromise? I'm listening, Unkai replied with intrigue. I'll give her sensei a key to unlock Yakumo's full power if the situation requires it. Until then, let the power bleed out and integrate into her body. That's fine. The clan as a whole just wants to ensure our heiress is safe. Unkai said calmly. I understand, Naruto smiled. The clan's concerns were why Yakumo's dream to be a shinobi was stopped before, and now they were showing their concern again. Luckily, they had a way around it this time. Well, I'll be on my way. Please take good care of Yakumo, Naruto. Unkai smiled. I will, Naruto replied firmly. Yakumo was his precious friend, and keeping her safe has always been something he wanted. That was easy, but there was the other issue that involved him and Yakumo, and that was how to manage their more physical relationship. Scene skip. Naruto's eyes opened as he prepared for, but unfortunately for him he was still distracted by Unkai's discussion the other day. Looking to his side, he found the naked form of Tenten, who stayed over for the night as part of the agreement the girls made just a few days ago. Unlike Hinata and Yakumo, who still had some clothes on when they cuddled with Naruto, Tenten slept naked, which was always awkward for Naruto for various reasons. These girls will be the death of me, Naruto thought to himself as he focused on his morning wood. His first night with Tenten was something else, but when he realized his childhood friend started sleeping naked in between their time at the orphanage and now, it took every bit of willpower he had to not have sex with her. He was so distracted by his thoughts that he didn't realize he wasn't the only one up. Morning, Naruto. Tenten smiled as the covers vanished, revealing her naked form completely. Her tan skin and dark nipples were truly a sight to behold, and little Naruto wasn't complaining. Morning, Tenten, Naruto replied before leaning in to kiss her on the lips. They kissed for a short time before he pulled away with a trail of saliva going with him. Normally this is the part where I polish your sword, but I figured I'd give you some advice as somebody who's been where you are. I mean, officially passing your team's test and all. Tenten smiled. Sounds good, Naruto replied as Tenten snuggled into his right side for a bit. Starting today you'll do missions, but I'm warning you ahead of time, most of them are boring. Things like shopping or random tasks to help villagers. Tenten replied. Just great, I have to help these idiots. Naruto cursed, not liking this at all. A year ago, he was forced to do the shopping since Genma was on a mission and he forgot to restock before he left. When it came time to pay for his groceries, he realized that he was being charged double, and in some cases triple what others were charged for the same goods. Since then, the only places he would go to spend money were the shop that Tenten's adopted father owned in Ichiraku's, along with giving him a massive dislike for most of the village. Tenten sighed because she knew why he didn't like the villagers since he vented about it for a week. You have no choice, Naruto. If a decently trained shunin wanted to, he could slaughter every civilian in the village with ease. The missions are to help remind the villagers that the shinobi are on your side. Fine, but I won't like it. Naruto sulked. Of course not. Oh, but there is one mission you should definitely watch out for. And that is catching Tora the cat. She belongs to the daimyo's wife and is a nightmare to catch. I swear the thing is a ninja cat with how fast it moves. Tenten groaned. That bad, huh? Naruto wondered. It took my team close to an hour, and that's with Niji's Byakugan and Lee's speed. If you don't have a plan, it will drive you nuts. Tenten warned. Good to know. Naruto replied with a smile. Tenten looked at the clock and frowned because it was 7 a.m. Sorry, but I gotta get going. Time for me to meet with my sensei, Tenten revealed as she moved over to his desk to grab a robe that was left out so she could go shower. See ya later, Naruto replied as he watched her go. Once she was gone, Naruto went through the mental gymnastics he needed in order to prepare himself for the day and get rid of his morning wood. Scene skip. Naruto's first day as a ninja was over, and luckily, he avoided the dread Tora mission. Unfortunately, the other issue Naruto had was still very much there, and it was how to deal with his girls. Luckily for him, tonight was a free night so he could relax. Sitting at dinner with Genma, Naruto couldn't help but frown, and his adopted uncle noticed as much. What's wrong, Naruto? Not finding ninja life to be all you thought it would be? Genma teased. No, between what Kakashi and Tenten told me I knew what to expect, but I have another problem. What's that? The girls. Naruto frowned. Genma was slightly caught off guard since Naruto's little harem wasn't something they discussed very often, if at all, so what's wrong? Ganma said gently. I want to do other things with them, but I feel like if I do it with one, I can't do it with the others, you know. Like it wouldn't be fair to string them along like that. Naruto admitted. He was positive all three girls would sleep with him if he made his feelings known, but things weren't nearly that simple. Ganma was caught slightly off guard with that since it spoke to Naruto's mentality as a person, so you want to do those things, but you feel like you have to choose one of them. Ganma said calmly. Yeah, Naruto replied before coming to a decision and standing up. Shadow clone jutsu, Naruto shouted, and three clones appeared. What's going on, Naruto? Ganma wondered. I'm going to give myself a break and see what happens. Naruto replied before looking to his clones. You go see Hinata. You go see Tenten. You see Yakumo. Tell the girls I need a break from everything and that I'll get back to them later, Naruto instructed. He already sent a clone to give Kurenai the seal to Yakumo's powers, so she'd be fine, but maybe it was best to step back from it all for a bit and see how he felt. Right, the clones replied and left via the Shunshin. Ganma could only look on since Naruto's decision was clear for now. If he couldn't choose between the girls, he wouldn't choose any of them. Ironically, there was a solution to his problem that Naruto wasn't aware of and would solve his issue pretty easily. However, he wanted to see how this played out first before revealing it. Naruto, are you sure this is what you want? Ganma asked again. I don't know what I want right now, Uncle Ganma, but I'm going to find out soon, Naruto replied. Scene skip. A week passed and unfortunately for Naruto, things didn't get better. The girls turned out to be a calming presence for Naruto, and the lack of sexual relief combined with the annoyance of D-rank missions finally caused Naruto to snap during his latest mission, rather ironically the Tora mission that Tenten warned him about. Kakashi forbid Naruto from using the shadow clones, so he had to find the cat on his own, and it was proving to be just as annoying as Tenten warned. Alright guys, we've found his location. Kakashi said calmly over the radio they were using to communicate. Finally, I'm getting tired of this stupid cat. Naruto growled, his annoyance clearly growing. Naruto, calm down. You've been tense for the last week and it's getting to you. Sasuke said nervously. Sasuke's right, Naruto, calm down. Kakashi replied. Both men knew Naruto was getting frustrated and it looked like his limit was approaching. Naruto took a deep breath like his two friends said and relaxed. I'm good, Naruto said calmly. Then get him. Kakashi replied warily. He knew Naruto wasn't fine, but they had to deal for now. Naruto approached slowly, but Tora noticed him and started to flee, which Naruto wasn't going to allow. That's enough from you, Tora. Naruto growled, sending a wave of killer intent at the cat. Tora froze and a smiling Naruto grabbed the cat and stared at it with his intent still focused to ensure it didn't escape. Now you're going to be a good little cat and stay right there. When we get you back to your master, you're going to behave. A.M. Clear. Naruto said coldly. Tora fearfully relaxed and Naruto relaxed his intent. A nervous Kakashi quickly arrived and confirmed Tora's identity. We're done here, but Naruto, do you mind giving me Tora? You look like you've been through a lot. Kakashi said nervously. He could see that Naruto was still slightly annoyed, and bringing Tora to the daimyo's wife might not be the brightest idea. Naruto noticed Kakashi's nerves and quickly relaxed himself. Sure. Just give Uncle Ganma my pay. Naruto said calmly, knowing that it was probably in his best interest to relax. Alright, Kakashi replied back to the others. Naruto was at his limit and he needed some time alone for now. Hopefully nothing bad happened. Scene skip. Naruto's trip back was mostly peaceful since the young blonde managed to calm down. Fortunately for him, the villagers left him alone and he was almost home before he ran into somebody he really didn't like. Well, if it isn't Naruto. What have you been up to? Kiba Inuzuka said smugly. For some stupid reason, Kiba decided to confront him without his dog, but Naruto was going to try and take the high road. I don't have time to deal with you now, dog breath. Naruto growled, trying to move away, but Kiba moved in front of him. No, you're going to stay right here. Kiba growled back. Kiba, you have 5 seconds to let me go or we're going to have a problem. Naruto replied, his patience slowly fading. Without Akamaru, Kiba stood no chance against him and this would end badly. Or what? Kiba taunted, which turned out to be a huge mistake. Or this, Naruto shouted before quickly creating a spiraling ball of blue chakra and slamming it into Kiba's stomach, sending him flying in the air. Admittedly, Naruto wanted to use his blade to handle Kiba, but when he saved him from Mizuki, Naruto noticed the plate of armor underneath his jacket. However, that wouldn't matter against this technique. When he noticed that Kiba was flying towards an empty alleyway, Naruto used his speed to catch up to him before sending him into the alley with a brutal roundhouse kick. As Kiba hit the ground with a thud, a wicked grin formed on Naruto's face. He walked towards Kiba with very cruel intentions in mind. Fortunately, or unfortunately depending on who you ask, a familiar face showed up behind him. "That's enough, Naruto. I believe you've taught Kiba quite a lesson for now," Yugo said sternly beneath her mask. "I'm not so sure," Naruto replied before turning towards his mentor with a vicious grin on his face. Underneath her mask, the look of concern was clear to see. "Naruto, if you don't stop, I'll be forced to take more aggressive action," Yugo said again, and Naruto shrugged. He was angry at Kiba but not enough to fight Yugo. "Fine. Just get the mutt some help since I'm sure he needs it. I've gotta get home." Naruto smiled before vanishing via a shunshin. Yugo walked towards Kiba and scowled as she looked at the young man and saw what damage had been done to him. To think he'd use that on a comrade. Yugo thought to herself with concern. She was on the way to start her shift at the Hokage's office when she noticed Kiba confront Naruto. She let it play out, but that turned out to be a big mistake, and it revealed that Naruto was not in a good place. Somebody needed to do something and fast. Kakashi POV. After getting payment from the Hokage for our mission, I dismissed the team so we could all relax. Sakura left quickly as usual, but Sasuke stayed. "Is Naruto alright?" Sasuke asked, and I smiled. Those two were as close as ever, and it showed at times like this. When they wondered why Naruto wasn't with them, he said that it was a personal matter and not to worry, but Sasuke clearly did. He's a bit upset. The last few days he's been a bit cranky, I replied. Cranky was an understatement. Considering that he hasn't spent as much time with his girls, we shouldn't be surprised. Sasuke smirked. Yes, but he has his reasons, I replied, aware of what Naruto was dealing with thanks to Genma. Sasuke was about to say something but paused, causing me to look behind me. I spun my head and instantly began to frown because Yugo was in front of us in her ANBU outfit. There's been an incident I think you should know about, Yugo said from underneath her mask. What kind of incident? I said with a raised eyebrow. How about an angry Naruto using the jutsu on Kiba Inuzuka in the middle of the street? Yugo replied, and my frown got worse. Is he okay? I said nervously, referring to Kiba. That jutsu was one of the fourth Hokage's most powerful tools outside of the Hiraishin. If Naruto used it on somebody, that person would be lucky to have minor bruises. The fact it was Kiba made it worse due to his clan status. Hopefully things hadn't already devolved to the point of no return. He's fine. He had some armor underneath his jacket, or it could have been much worse. Right now, he only has some small scarring on his stomach. I breathed a sigh of relief, but that was still bad. I'm assuming somebody else is telling Lord Hokage. Yes. I don't care how angry he is, using that jutsu on a comrade is hard to dismiss. Agreed, I replied before turning to Sasuke. Go home. We'll discuss Naruto more later, I said calmly. Right now, we had to pull Naruto out of another fire, and this one wouldn't be simple. Right, Sasuke said, nervously, aware that something very bad happened. Today was only going to get worse, and I knew it. An hour later, I was in front of the Hokage with Yugo and Genma along with Kiba's mother Tsume and Izuka. Admittedly, I was shocked that Tsume was so forgiving, but when she revealed that Kiba's been under house arrest since the incident with Mizuki and that he snuck out on his own, she was okay with what happened. The fact she was friends with Naruto's mother also meant she knew about Kushina's temper, which certainly helped. However, the problem of what to do with Naruto remained. His temper is starting to get the best of him. I have to admit that I never guessed Naruto would be that way. Yugao admitted. The situation with his girls was getting to him. I was going to wait until he became a chunin to recommend it, but I believe it's time for the CRA. Genma revealed. We can discuss it with him after he's calmed down. However, I believe a different solution is needed to achieve that, and it's one that worked very well for you during your stressful times, Kakashi. The third said, causing my eyebrows to raise. You're not seriously suggesting sending him on a C-rank mission? I gasped. Yes, I am. D ranks won't do it, and frankly getting away from the village and his girls will do him some good. The third suggested. I take it you have one in mind. Yugo said with a raised eyebrow of her own. I do. Inform your team tomorrow and we'll go from there. I suggest telling Naruto now, so he realizes what's at stake. Also make sure he knows that he won't be paid for the C-rank as punishment for what happened, the third instructed. I don't know if I agreed with Lord Hokage, but I'd do it if it means getting Naruto out of his funk. Yes, sir, I said calmly. Dismissed. The third said calmly, and we looked at each other before Genma nodded at me so I could deal with Naruto. Scene skip. With the day over, I made my way over to the compound to speak to Naruto. It took me a while to find him, but I was surprised to see him meditating in his room, and the fact he was in his tracksuit meant he calmed down for now. Hello, Naruto. Are you feeling better after taking out your frustrations on Kiba? I asked almost rhetorically. No, I'm better because of Yugo. Oh? Yeah. When she said that she would have to get involved, I realized that it was too much, so I decided to meditate. Kakashi could appreciate Naruto's calm, and now the question was what to do next. Well, I've got good news and bad news for you, I said with a calm expression on my face. I get the feeling that the bad news should be second, Naruto said sarcastically. Well, the good news is that you'll be getting a C-rank mission tomorrow, so prepare accordingly. Naruto looked at me with a raised eyebrow. You're telling me this now? Naruto questioned. Yes, because I wanted to make sure you're in the right state of mind. Regardless of how you feel about him, you used the Rasengan on Kiba Inuzuka. If his mother wasn't a friend of your mom's, it could have ended very badly for you, I lectured. Alright, I'm sorry, and tell Uncle Genma I am too. He wasn't going to apologize to Kiba because the fool deserved it, and he warned him a few times. I'm sure you are, but that doesn't matter right now. You need to relax, Naruto, and whatever your situation is with your girls, you need to work it out. I know, and I will, but I needed some time away from them to do so. I'll talk to them once we get back, Naruto replied. Good, now why don't you get back to your meditation? I said calmly before leaving Naruto. He was not doing well, but hopefully this mission would give him some much-needed clarity. Hinata POV. Alright guys, you're dismissed, Kurenai-sensei said calmly. Right, our group announced, but I focused my attention on Yakumo, and she glanced at me at the same time. Hey Yakumo, I have an errand to run, do you mind walking with me? I asked calmly. Errand? Yes, I need to talk to somebody about my kunai, I said calmly. Yakumo's eyes widened before she smiled back. Alright. I could use a few new kunai myself, Yakumo replied, and despite an odd look from my mentor, Yakumo, and I left. The kunai talk was code for us going to see Tenten, Naruto's third girl he was connected to, and luckily Yakumo got it. For the last week I haven't seen Naruto, and he said he told the others the same. As we walked through the village, we heard some unpleasant murmurs. Did you hear the news? The demon brat nailed that Inuzuka kid with some weird technique that left a scar on his stomach even underneath armor, a civilian said quietly. A quick glance at Yakumo, and we both agreed we needed to hurry to see Tenten. I don't know why, but people called Naruto the demon brat, and the Inuzuka kid clearly meant Kiba. Something happened between them, and I don't know what it was, but it couldn't be good. Quickly arriving at the blacksmith shop, I was glad to see Tenten was sitting at the desk. When she saw the both of us, she frowned, probably knowing what this was about. Hey Dad, I have friends over. I'm gonna go to my room, Tenten shouted. That's fine, and I'll take over while you talk, Tenten's father said gruffly from out of view. Let's go to my room. Tenten said calmly, and Yakumo and I followed along. It didn't take long to find her room, and when I walked in, I certainly didn't see what I thought of as a girl's room. I'm starting to see why we all go to Naruto's house. Yakumo teased. I was never a girly girl, Tenten admitted. With all the stuff related to smithing in the room, I would have thought it was a boy's room honestly, and I can only wonder what her room was like at first. Well, we can tease you about your room later. How about we talk about the elephant in the room? I said coldly. You mean that Naruto all of the sudden doesn't want to talk to us? Yakumo said calmly. Yeah, that. I replied. It's pretty obvious to me what's going on. Tenten said to my surprise. Then care to fill us in? Yakumo huffed in annoyance. Naruto is worried about what happens next. As our relationship escalates, it becomes much more difficult to maneuver around certain circumstances, Tenten said frankly. I should have known. I groaned. All of us knew that we could do what we did because it was mostly innocent. Having sex was a different story because of the responsibility that came with it and the fact that Yakumo and I were heiresses, in my case a major one. Well, I guess it tells you what type of person Naruto is. I can't imagine what Kiba would do in this position. Tenten rolled her eyes. We know exactly what he'd do. He'd sleep with us all and brag about it without caring a bit for the circumstances. Naruto is too nice for that, but as a result he's driving himself crazy. Yakumo said bitterly, something I agreed with. I think if we talk to Yugao, she might be able to help us. Since she's friends with my sensei, it won't be too hard. Hinata smiled. Explaining to Kurenai why she needed to meet with Yugao wouldn't be fun, but I had no choice. That works fine. Yakumo and Tenten agreed. Naruto had our back and now it was time to have his. Normal POV. As the sun shone on a new day, Naruto calmly woke up as he prepared for his first mission. After a quick shower, Naruto grabbed his outfit along with his blade and came down to get breakfast. Waiting for him was Genma, who could tell that Naruto was much calmer than before. Ready for your big day? Genma teased. Yeah, Uncle Genma, and I'm sorry about yesterday. Naruto replied. Genma was glad that Naruto was back to normal. If you want a solution to your problems, I have it, but you have to complete your first C-rank mission. Consider it a reward since you won't be getting paid. Sounds good, Uncle Genma. Naruto smiled. I hope what happened yesterday isn't a common occurrence. There's only so much we can do for you, Naruto. Naruto's eyes widened. Got it, Uncle Genma, and thanks. Tell Yugao I said sorry also. Naruto beamed. I will, Genma replied, and Naruto took that as his cue to leave. It was time for his first C-rank mission, and he needed to be on his game. Chapter 6, Deception. Mission Office. A smiling Naruto stood with his team behind Kakashi as they addressed the Hokage, ready for the day's events. Naruto was thrilled to get a C-rank mission, and he knew Sasuke in particular would enjoy the chance to test himself. So, Lord Hokage, what mission do you have for us? Kakashi said calmly, hiding his own excitement. Due to the success of your team on your D ranks, I've decided to give you a C-rank mission, the third revealed to the shock of the group and Irika. Lord Hokage, they've been shinobi for a week. I know Naruto was holding back during his time at the academy and Sasuke is skilled in his own right, but this is too early for C ranks. Irika protested, much to Naruto's annoyance. Let me get this straight, sensei. You knew I was holding back but trusted me enough to let it go, and now you want to question things, Naruto replied, trying to calm down. Irika flinched since it was a bit foolish. Naruto, Irika started to say before Kakashi interrupted. Listen, Irika. I've been training with Naruto since he was 6 and he and Sasuke have been training partners for 3 years. I know what they're capable of and I promise you they're ready. Kakashi spoke up. Alright, Irika pouted, realizing that there was no argument. The third smiled since it worked out. Send in Tazuna. The third instructed, and after a few moments an old man walked in. He had gray hair and spectacles and was wearing a black sleeveless v-neck shirt with an obi, black pants and sandals along with a towel on his neck and a pointed straw hat. However, his appearance was not what Naruto focused on. Oh Lord, this guy is a drunk. Naruto cursed mentally. The man reeked of booze, and he was certain that Sasuke and Kakashi realized the same thing. This is Tazuna of the Land of Waves. Your mission is to escort him home and protect him from bandits and the like. The third said calmly. This is the team protecting me. They don't look like much. Tazuna scoffed. Keep telling yourself that, you old drunk. Naruto retorted, finding the man's lack of faith to be just as irritating as Irika's. That's enough, Naruto, Kakashi scolded before focusing on the others. Team 7, meet me at the East Gate in an hour. Be ready for a long mission. Kakashi ordered. Right, the group shouted. Scene skip. Naruto made his way towards the gate and he was ready to go. I can't explain it, but something stinks about this mission. Naruto thought to himself. I assume you're not talking about the old man's constant booze smell. The fox said mentally. Yeah. If I remember correctly, the Land of Waves is a simple fishing village. There's no reason this old guy should need ninja for anything. Naruto replied. From the moment the third explained the mission, Naruto had a bad feeling in the back of his head and decided to bring his blade along for extra oomph. Wait, Naruto, a voice shouted to his surprise. As he turned around, he saw Hinata, Yakumo and Tenten running towards him. What's up, girls? Naruto wondered, admittedly confused as to why they were here. We heard from Yuga that you were headed on a C rank and we wanted to see you before you left. Hinata said with still haggard breath. From the looks of it, the girls were the same, but Hinata was the first to speak. Naruto could appreciate this, but now wasn't the time. As much as I'd love to talk, I really need to go. Naruto said reluctantly. As he turned to walk away, he was surprised when Tenten dashed in front of him, blocking his path. Naruto, you're not getting away that easily. Tenten said sternly. Tenten. Naruto scowled before he felt Hinata wrap her arms around his back and hold him tightly. Naruto, please just wait for a minute. C-rank missions are dangerous, and I don't want our last memory of you to be you saying you need a break. Hinata said as tears flowed from her eyes. She's right, you know, Tenten continued before walking up and hugging him from the front. I have a feeling I know what's bothering you, but right now that doesn't matter. We just want to show the guy we care about some affection before his first big mission. Tenten said warmly. Unfair, there's no room for me. Yakumo pouted. They really care, huh? Naruto thought to himself. Seeing as how he was occupied with the others, Naruto gave Tenten and Hinata a nudge so they could move away, which they did, before he spun towards Yakumo with open arms. Yakumo used the chance to run into his arms and nuzzle against his chest before Naruto used his right hand to pull her chin up. Is that better? Naruto said warmly. Yes, Yakumo replied before leaning up in order to kiss Naruto, who gladly reciprocated. They kissed for about a minute before Yakumo pulled away. My turn, Hinata said happily before quickly taking Yakumo's place and like the Kurama eras clashed tongues with Naruto for a minute. Saving the best for last, huh? Tenten smirked. Just get over here, Tenten, Naruto retorted before spinning back around so Tenten could get her moment, which she did before pulling away. When you get back from this mission, and you'd better get back, we're going to figure this all out. Tenten said firmly before poking his chest and moving next to Yakumo and Hinata. Got it. Naruto replied before making his way to the gate with his three girls watching him go. It didn't take long to find his team and it was time for the mission to start. Glad you could make it, Naruto. Care to explain why you're late? Kakashi wondered a bit rhetorically. A few lovely ladies wanted to wish me luck. Naruto answered, causing Kakashi and Sasuke to crack a smile since both knew what that was about. Then let's go, Kakashi said happily, and the group was on their way. Scene skip. For Ninja, it would take a few hours to reach Wave, but due to having to deal with Tazuna, the trip would actually take a few days. As a result, the group camped out halfway into the journey so they could get some rest. Plus, Naruto and Sasuke took one tent, with Sakura taking her own and Kakashi staying with Tazuna in the third. With dinner over, it was time to relax and the two boys reflected on what was going on. To think we've come this far, Naruto said with a smile as they sat in the tent. Yeah. Shame we're only getting this because of your hissy fit the other day. Sasuke smirked. How'd you know about that? Naruto twitched since he thought that was a secret. Kakashi told me since he's my advisor. Now that I'm rid of those two old bastards Hamura and Koharu, Sasuke scowled. Who? Naruto replied in confusion. About a month after Itachi slaughtered my clan, I was approached by the Hokage's two advisors Hamura and Koharu. They wanted to help me deal with my new situation and I agreed to make them my advisors. It turns out they're greedy bastards who don't have any power but rely on the fact they're the Hokage's old teammates to influence things. Sasuke scowled. Sounds brutal. Naruto twitched. Genma had acted as his advisor for a long time so he didn't have to deal with that stuff. Yeah, they tried to steal most of my fortune before Kakashi found out and put a stop to it. Now he's my advisor and sensei, which suits me fine. That's rough, but at least you're on the right track. For now, I just want to focus on this weird mission. So, you think it's odd too? Sasuke questioned. Oh yeah. The old drunk is hiding something. I agree. Well, let's just stay focused and look out for anything odd. Will do. But now you should get some rest since Kakashi should be coming to get me for my watch pretty soon. Naruto replied. Actually, it's already time for your part of the watch, but I couldn't help but listen to your conversation. Kakashi said from outside. Which part? Naruto wondered curiously. Everything, and I also agree something's odd about this mission. Be ready tomorrow, guys, because I get the feeling his stench is going to be the least of our problems soon. Kakashi warned. Oh well. For now, you guys relax, and I'll watch over things. Naruto said calmly as he got out to do his watch. Leaving Kakashi and Sasuke to rest, Naruto found a small clearing where he could sense everything around him and gaze at the moon. So Kit, what do you think the old man's hiding? The fox wondered. I don't know, but we'll find out tomorrow. Naruto groaned as he continued his watch. A part of him wanted to scout ahead, but he decided against it for now. Scene skip. The next morning the group was up and ready and Naruto, Sasuke and Kakashi knew they needed to be ready for anything. Naruto and Sasuke walked in front so they could talk without the old drunk hearing them. Did you scout ahead? Sasuke wondered. With shadow clones it was a simple task to do. No. If somebody was waiting to ambush us, I didn't want to trigger it. Recklessness is the last thing we need. Naruto replied calmly. Smart. Then again, we'll know soon enough. Sasuke replied. They were reaching the point where they were far enough away from the village where somebody could set an ambush without running into Leaf Ninja, and this was where the mission really began. Hey Tazuna, what is it you do that's so important? Sakura asked bluntly to the shock of everyone else. What's that supposed to mean? Tazuna scoffed. The Land of Waves isn't a big place at all and you're not a noble. What makes you so special that bandits would even consider attacking you? Sakura wondered. Maybe there's hope for you yet, Sakura. Naruto thought to himself, and Sasuke was equally pleased. Don't worry about it, Sakura. He's our client and that's all that matters. Kakashi replied sternly, ruining the plan. Damn it, Kakashi! Naruto and Sasuke internally cursed, but both noticed a sigh of relief from the old man. An hour later, and the first sign that something was wrong finally appeared in the form of a puddle of water in the middle of the road. It hadn't rained in weeks, and a quick glance between Naruto and Sasuke showed that both boys knew what that meant. That wasn't an ordinary puddle, and the question became who was waiting for them. They were certain Kakashi noticed also, and all three were ready. Hey old man, are there any ninja in the Land of Waves? Naruto wondered just as he passed by the puddle, stomping his foot a few inches away from the puddle. No, there aren't, brat. We're just a fishing village. Tazuna replied. I see. If that's the case, how did you get to the leaf safely? We're protecting you from bandits, but they could have easily got to you on the way here. Naruto smiled viciously, causing the old man to freeze. I got lucky, I guess. Tazuna answered nervously. Kakashi wanted to step in, but this time Sasuke spoke first. He's got a point. If you weren't in danger when you left the village, but you are on the way back. That makes no sense at all. Sasuke continued. The old man was sweating bullets now and they trapped him. Sakura's eyes widened due to her teammates' discussion and she couldn't help but speak up. Oh, come on, guys. You make it sound like whoever the old drunk is worried about didn't care if they left the land of waves, but really doesn't want them to come back. Sakura spoke up. A part of Kakashi was furious that his team didn't allow the ambush, but it was too late at this point to do anything. That's exactly right, Sakura, but we don't need to ask the old man. We can as the ninja hiding in that puddle. Kakashi shouted so his opponents knew they were exposed. At that moment 2 figures slowly appeared from the water ready to fight. The brothers were wearing matching gray outfits with joined gauntlets and they were ready to fight. Sorry, but you guys aren't going anywhere. Naruto shouted before putting his hands in a half ram. Out of nowhere a circular seal with the symbol for lightning appeared underneath the 2 men and bolts of electricity shot up the ground. Because they were still dripping with water, the electrical burst caused major damage. That's gotta hurt. Sasuke winced as the 2 men convulsed before fainting in an instant. What the heck was that? Sakura gasped, never seeing anything like that. It's a lightning trap seal. I'm crap at using lightning chakra for most jutsu, but I can put a decent bit into a seal that would electrocute those guys the moment they went above it. I set it up when I walked by the puddle and since they were hidden in water, it caused major damage. Naruto chuckled. His trap seals were one of the things he hid from people and they were a secret weapon. Kakashi was beaming with pride at the ruthlessness Naruto showed and he was well aware of who his student just took out. You just took out 2 C-rank criminals with a single seal. Well done, Naruto, Kakashi said happily. The 2 men Naruto defeated were known as the Demon Brothers and they were by no means easy foes for anybody to beat. Let's tie these guys up and then deal with the elephant in the room. Naruto said coldly before turning towards the old man, or rather the rat. Naruto said with a vicious grin. I'm supposed to give the orders, but you are right. Kakashi acknowledged before moving to tie the demon brother together with rope before Naruto came over and used another seal to ensure they wouldn't move since they still had their weapons. Despite how easily they were taken out, the 2 were C-rank ninja in a bingo book. Now that we're done with these 2, it's time to tell us what's really going on. Kakashi said sternly as he focused on Tazuna. Tazuna knew he couldn't lie his way out of this one. It's because I hold the land of waves' future in my hands. Tazuna said solemnly. And why's that? Sasuke scoffed, finding the idea laughable. The land of waves is currently under the control of a man named Gato. You mean the business tycoon Gato? Kakashi questioned. Tazuna could only nod, the very same. A few years back Gato arrived in town and using some thugs he hired took over the place. Ever since then he's controlled the land of waves with an iron grip and anybody who opposed what he did was silenced in a very brutal fashion. That's horrible, Sakura gasped as Sasuke and Naruto's anger grew by the second. That's right. The land of waves is a harbor town and since Gato controls the ports there's no way for anybody to do anything without him knowing, at least until I began working on my bridge. A bridge? Sasuke questioned. That's right. I'm in charge of building a bridge that will connect the land of waves to the mainland in the hopes of being able to free the town from Gato, and that's why he's after me. Tazuna explained. Kakashi's expression was muted since this was a nasty situation. Tazuna, while I understand your problem, the fact remains that you lied to us. This is not a C-rank mission at all but an A-rank due to ninja being involved. Yes, I know. But the land of waves is poor thanks to Gato's greed. There's no way I could have afforded an A-rank mission. Tazuna protested. Now it all makes sense. Gato allowed you to leave because he knew that if you did there was little chance of you coming back. Naruto growled. What do you mean, Naruto? Sakura wondered. When it comes to the shinobi world there are very few rules when it comes to handing out missions, and Tazuna broke the number 1 rule, which is not to lie. Ninja are staffed for missions based on what the client tells us, and if the client lies, you could find yourself in a situation like this where you have ninja who are dealing with a mission that's over their heads. Naruto explained. I had no choice. Thanks to Gato I was barely able to get enough money together for this mission. That's true, but it doesn't change the fact that you still lied. There's no telling how much danger you could have put my students in, Kakashi said angrily. He was incredibly torn between how close he was to two of his students and the understanding he had of the plight of the Land of Waves. In that case, how about we compromise? Naruto suggested, realizing the issue that Kakashi had and offering a solution that would work for everyone. What did you have in mind, Naruto? Kakashi wondered. We still have those two captured and ready to interrogate, and I'm sure you've picked up a few genjutsu that would make them more willing to talk. If they can give us a rough idea of who Gato has, we can determine how dangerous this really is. Gato probably assumed that he would fail and that the Demon Brothers would be enough to deal with what you would get on a C-rank mission. If they're all he's got, we're fine. If he's got more, we can find out and be better prepared. But what if he's got a lot more waiting for us? Sakura asked nervously. We call for backup, duh. Naruto shrugged. I agree with Naruto. We accepted this mission, lie or not, and if we complete it, the old man will pay the full price for not only us but any of the other forces. The Land of Waves is valuable if we can get it running again. Sasuke spoke up. Fine, but only because you said so, Sasuke. Sakura gave in. Naruto and Sasuke both chuckled before nodding towards their teacher. I don't like it, but fine. We defeated the Demon Brothers fairly easily, and that's the only reason I'm willing to do this. Kakashi answered. Thank you, Tazuna sighed, knowing that he dodged a bullet. Don't thank us yet, old man. If you screwed up too badly, we still might abandon you. Now if you don't mind, I need to take a leak, Naruto replied before going into the bushes. Naruto. Sakura blushed. Good grief, Sasuke chuckled. While Naruto went to relieve himself, Kakashi interrogated the Demon Brothers. Scene skip. A smiling Naruto returned from his leak to find a frowning Kakashi. What did I miss? Naruto said nervously. Well, there's good news and bad news. The good news is that Gato only has one other ninja in his employment. The bad news is that it's Zabuza Momochi. I see, Naruto mentally cursed. Who's Zabuza Momochi? Sakura wondered. Zabuza Momochi is an A-rank ninja known as the Demon of the Hidden Mist, which if you knew the history of the Hidden Mist, you'd understand what a monster he is. Kakashi said calmly. What history? Sakura wondered. The Hidden Mist was known as the Bloody Mist Village because in order to graduate from their academy you had to kill a fellow student. Naruto explained, causing Sakura to pale. It gets worse from there. Zabuza didn't just kill one student, he killed every one of them. How can a person do that? Sakura gasped. Easily. The ruthlessness that Zabuza used is something that's found in most shinobi from that era. We're much more relaxed now, but there's no doubt that shinobi like that exist. When I was your age, I was fighting in wars and Zabuza is from around my time. Kakashi said calmly. I see, Sakura said with her eyes wide. The ninja world was truly terrifying, and she was learning that soon. Well, let's get going. We don't know when Zabuza is coming, but I have little doubt we'll meet him soon enough. Kakashi acknowledged. Right, Team 7 shouted. Scene skip. Arriving in Wave was a relatively easy task, although given how hesitant Tazuna's friend was to help, it was clear that very few people believed in Tazuna and his mission. The group was currently walking through a forest before Naruto got a bad feeling in the back of his head. Somebody was watching them, and he didn't know who or what. It wasn't a harsh killing intent but a curiosity. Heads up guys, we're being watched. Naruto warned. Are you sure? Sakura said nervously. Yes, I am, and I say we say HI. Naruto yelled as he reached into his pocket and tossed a kunai towards a group of bushes nearby. When nobody jumped out, Naruto walked into the bushes, leaving the sight of his teammates for a moment to bend down and find what his kunai may or may not have hit. To his shock, it was a white rabbit which he brought out to the team. A rabbit? You can't be serious, Sakura shouted. Well played, Zabuza, well played, Naruto thought to himself. Come on out, Zabuza, I know you're hiding somewhere. Naruto shouted. Naruto, what are you? Sakura started to say until a figure flashed into the middle of the road they were on. Impressive. How did some snot-nosed kid figure out I was hiding? Zabuza Momochi said in a gruff voice. Zabuza was a tall and noticeably muscular man with light grayish skin, short spiky black hair, dark brown eyes, and small eyebrows. Zabuza was shirtless but had blue pants with vertical stripes held up by a belt and cow print wrist and leg warmers. On his back was a holster for his blade which was currently hidden from view. This rabbit's fur is white and that would be virtually impossible unless it was raised indoors. My guess is that you raised it to use for a replacement jutsu. Zabuza raised his eyebrows at the comment and smiled. That's right, and is that a blade I see on your back? I can't imagine that the leaf has too many genin who want to take up the blade. Zabuza said curiously. We don't, and as much as I'd love to match blades with you, I'm afraid that would be a horrible idea for both me and my team. You know, since you're a legendary swordsman, and all Naruto admitted. Zabuza chuckled. True, and since I can appreciate that, how about we make a deal? You give me the bridge builder and I'll let you go. Past Naruto smirked with an idea popping into his head. How about this offer instead? After I get this cute little guy out of the way, you face off against us. If you're so confident, let's see what you've got. Naruto, are you crazy? Sakura yelled. Fine by me. It's not like you can win and I find you amusing. Zabuza chuckled. Thanks, Naruto replied before walking into the bushes away from view. He arrived back a few minutes later and his team was ready. Naruto, Sasuke, Sakura, protect the bridge builder. I'll face Zabuza, Kakashi ordered. Fine with me. Sasuke nodded and Sakura and Naruto formed a protection detail around the bridge builder with Naruto in front as Sakura and Sasuke formed a triangle around him. Zabuza brought out his blade which looked like a butcher's knife with a circular hole at the top. It's an honor to face Kakashi of the Sharingan. Zabuza acknowledged before putting his hands into the air. Oh, Naruto shouted before quickly blowing through hand signs knowing that he only had a little time until this got annoying. Hidden mist jutsu, Zabuza shouted, but just as the mist began to form, Naruto was done. Wind style, great breakthrough, Naruto shouted before blowing the newly formed mist away. I would face a wind style user. Zabuza growled. That meant his hidden mist jutsu was useless and now it was a much more annoying fight. You should be focused on me, Zabuza, Kakashi yelled, using the opening to aim a kick at Zabuza's exposed stomach, sending him skidding back. You'll pay for that, Kakashi, Zabuza warned as he began flashing hand signs. If the hidden mist jutsu wouldn't work, he'd attack another way. Water style, water dragon jutsu, Zabuza shouted as he formed a water dragon to attack with. Unfortunately, his opponent has the same idea. Shall we, Zabuza, water style, water dragon jutsu, Kakashi shouted as he began to form his own attack. Incredible, it's like looking into a mirror. Sakura said in disbelief. That's the point. A mastered Sharingan is capable of mimicking an opponent's movements and hand signs to the point that it's a mirror image. Sasuke said happily, seeing the Sharingan in action. Yes, but even if you copy the jutsu, it won't matter if you're not skilled enough to use the same technique at a similar level to the person you're copying. Water style is to the hidden mist what fire style is to us, and the fact that Sensei to be able to go toe-to-toe with Zabuza shows his ability. Naruto continued. So now what? Sakura wondered as he two high-level shinobi clashed. Every move Zabuza made was countered by Zabuza. We wait. We can't get involved in this fight unless something stupid happens or it'll mess up Sensei. Naruto frowned. Hidden mist jutsu, Zabuza shouted, causing Naruto to curse. Like that, Sasuke deadpanned. Yeah, Naruto pouted, running through hand signs. Not this time, brat. Zabuza growled, appearing in front of him with his blade ready to strike. Shit, Sasuke cursed as he quickly grabbed the bridge builder and Sakura and got out of the way, but Naruto wasn't so lucky since he was still making his seals. No! Kakashi screamed as Zabuza slashed Naruto in the stomach. Bad move, Zabuza, Naruto grinned as he vanished in a puff of smoke and a glowing seal with the words paralyze appeared in front of him. Shit! Zabuza said in shock, and before Zabuza could say anything a powerful jolt of electricity blasted the rogue. The Kiri ninja screamed in pain. A gust of wind appeared blowing the mist away as Naruto appeared from the bushes yet again and Naruto walked out. I never imagined that my trap clone jutsu would work that well. Naruto said happily. Trap clone Zabuza groaned as the electricity still coursed through him. He wasn't finished, but with the electricity he wasn't going anywhere. That's right. The seals I made just before you attacked weren't for great breakthrough, but for a replacement jutsu that switched me with a trap clone. When did you set that up? Zabuza cursed. The rabbit is safe, Sakura said in shock. Yep. When you let me move the rabbit, I took the chance to make the clones in secret before coming back. I figured you'd use water style, so having an electric trap clone worked out nicely. Admittedly, it didn't work as well as with the Demon Brothers, but oh well. Clever. Zabuza coughed. He should have known something was wrong when the brat didn't simply let the rabbit go, but Zabuza got sloppy. The situation got worse when Kakashi approached. It's all over, Zabuza. Are you going to give up, or do I have to get rougher? Kakashi scowled, his eyes promising murder as he approached Zabuza. He attacked Naruto and Kakashi wouldn't forgive him for that. Do your UGHH, Zabuza grunted as Tsusenban hit his neck out of nowhere. What the hell, Sasuke growled, and soon a new figure appeared in front of them. The figure had black hair that appeared to be held in two white bun holders with a bit framing their face, which was simply a porcelain mask. The figure's outfit consisted of a green haori with white trimmings and a brown sash with matching skirt with sandals with straps similar to his haori. It was hard to miss the symbol for hidden mist on their forehead protector. Thank you very much for making my job easier. The person said in a voice that made their gender ambiguous but made it clear they were very young. You're welcome, but what is a Mist Village elite tracking ninja doing here? Kakashi frowned. Tracking ninja? Sakura wondered. Think of them as our version of the ANBU Black Ops. It's their job to deal with rogue ninja. Kakashi answered. Correct, and I'll be taking Zabuza now. The person replied. Sure, but I'm wondering why you waited until we dealt with him before you showed up. We could have used your help. Naruto scowled. Teaming up with enemy ninja without knowing the situation is foolish. Plus, against somebody like Zabuza, my Senban won't be much help. The person answered. All right. We have to get going now, so take good care of him. Kakashi replied calmly, appreciating the logic the ninja employed even if he didn't like the interference. Of course, the person replied before grabbing Zabuza and leaving the group alone. Phew, that was close, Sakura said with relief now that the battle was over. Yeah, but if you don't mind, I need to collapse now. Kakashi grunted before falling to the ground. Sensei. Sakura screamed as she and Tazuna went to grab him, but Sasuke and Naruto were both calm. Hey Naruto, do you know how Kakashi got his Sharingan? Sasuke wondered. Yes, I do, but I can tell that's not what's on your mind, Naruto replied. Yeah. I get the distinct feeling we've been played. Sasuke answered. Oh, we definitely got played, but we'll worry about that once Sensei is up. Naruto confirmed. Fine, Sasuke replied as Sakura moved towards their teacher. Both were aware that this was just the beginning and neither liked it. Scene skip. A now awake Kakashi sat up to greet his team, having safely arrived in Wave. They were currently staying with Tazuna, his daughter Tsunami, and his grandson Inari. Well, we managed to get to Wave successfully. Kakashi replied in a sarcastic manner. Shame that we got lucky, Naruto spoke up. Naruto. Sakura chastised. No, Sakura, Naruto is right. Zabuza is very much alive. Kakashi frowned as Naruto and Sasuke kept their cool. But how? You said it yourself that the ninja would take care of him. Sakura said in shock. Yes, but that's only if he was a real tracker ninja, Kakashi revealed. Huh? Sakura gasped. That ninja was working with Zabuza. My guess is that there's some sort of partner who helps in case Zabuza gets in trouble. It's actually genius, since there aren't many shinobi that could take him in a fair fight without tons of damage. They'd be too tired to question the ninja's validity. Kakashi explained. Case in point, he would have questioned it had he not been put through the ringer by Zabuza. I see. So, what do we do now? Sakura asked nervously. We train. I'll be good to go tomorrow and it's a great chance to get you up to speed, Sakura. Kakashi said with a bittersweet expression on his face. Right? Sakura sighed. Naruto and Sasuke were much stronger than she was, and she needed to catch up fast. That sounds good to me, but there's one problem. Sasuke spoke up. Huh? Sakura said in confusion. Kakashi leaned up, having realized the same thing. Sasuke is right. Where is the real you, Naruto? Kakashi glared at stared at the calm blonde. What do you mean, sensei? Sakura wondered in confusion. The Naruto in front of you is a shadow clone, and the reason I know is because of what he did when Zabuza attacked him. Kakashi explained. You mean that trap he set? Yes. He never uses seals in an active battle, and that's especially true of the replacement jutsu. His battle style means he doesn't need them. Kakashi scowled. Naruto looked at the group sheepishly before smiling. He was caught and there was nothing to be done. The boss is doing some investigating of his own. The clone admitted. Kakashi sighed, knowing that Naruto was the troublesome type, even though he rarely acted on it due to his respect for the ones who helped him as a child. Alright, but make sure the real Naruto knows that he'll be in for it later. Kakashi warned. Got it, the clone replied. He couldn't vanish until later since the family knows he's there. Hopefully the real Naruto was okay until then. Unknown area. The real Naruto was perfectly okay, but he found himself in an interesting situation. When he moved the rabbit to a better location and let it go, he decided to follow it while sending a shadow clone to the fight, since he had an odd theory about the rabbit's origins. His thought was that somebody like Zabuza would never use a rabbit, and he figured it belonged to a partner that Zabuza might have with him. He discovered that the rabbit was annoyingly fast, but thanks to dealing with the Tora mission, he was able to track it without too much trouble. They eventually arrived at what he assumed was Gato's compound and watched as the rabbit shot up the side of a wall and watched it stop at a window that it slowly opened. Naruto would have normally been impressed, but he put that to the side in order to shoot up the wall and grab the rabbit just as it opened the window and dropped into the room before using a smaller version of the paralysis seal to stop it from moving. Taking a moment to look around, he wasn't impressed at all. The room was a simple bedroom painted a rather dull gray with a single dresser opposite the window and a bed to the right of it with the door to the left, and a small clothes closet with a single gray door on the opposite wall hiding the contents inside. Admittedly, it was pretty smart to set up the room that way because it meant that if somebody snuck into the window, Zabuza's partner would be able to attack from a blind spot. With his task done, he opened the closet just enough to toss the rabbit inside and transformed into it before getting into the cage. And now we wait, Naruto thought to himself. Ultimately, Naruto waited 15 minutes until the door opened and a person walked in. The person's outfit reminded Naruto of the Kiri tracking unit that he learned about when he asked Yugao about the other villages' ANBU units or equivalents. He couldn't tell if the person was male or female due to their mask, but considering this was their room, he would know soon enough. The person walked towards him, the mask still on, before opening the cage. I'm impressed, Mr. Ninja. I didn't think somebody would be able to follow my little chappie back to our hideout. Should Naruto cursed mentally, since his plan was backfiring already and he had no idea how. Thank you for watching this video.